Okay, so today's question is, when is this whole situation, the lockdown and the jab, when is it going to be over? Okay, so basically, I pulled out these cards here. So hopefully today's reading will be a short one. Okay, so let's look at the card here. Um, So these are some of the indications of when it will be over. So let's have a look at this. So first of all, justice is going to be served. So the card here is justice, and the other card is the Two of Wands. So these are some of the major indications that this whole situation will be over. So let's look at the justice card first. And okay, let's look at these two cards. This was what I pulled out earlier. So basically these two cards. And then I got some clarification cards and it led to these, okay, which I will put in later. So for these two cards, I just wanted some indications. Okay, so these are the major indications, but going into the smaller indications or the minor indications is you get the Hanged Man, you get the Queen of Rods, you get the King of Pentacles, and you get the Ace of Swords. And then from there, I just drew out some clarification cards for each of these cards, okay? And as well as for the Justice card, two clarification cards I took out, and I'll explain why in a moment. And then for the Two of Wands, I have this clarification card which landed on the left here. Okay, so when is this whole situation going to be over? It is, well, justice will be served, and the justice will be served, and as well as it allows us to start planning ahead. So I'm not going to tell you the clarification cards yet because this one only came in much later. So the indications where justice will be served and then we can start planning for the future, these are indications of when this whole situation will be over. Now, the whole situation, I will use the word whole situation, meaning the lockdown situation and the jab situation. Okay, so right now these are the indications. So this card here is the Hanged Man. So basically, we just need to hang in there for the time being. Okay, so usually the Hanged Man, there is a halo around the head, but in this case, it's just, he doesn't have a halo around his head. There's no bright light around his head. So what it is showing me is that we just need to hang in there and just be patient. Okay, so this is the next indication, which is the Queen of Rods, and then followed by the King of Pentacles, and finally the Ace of Swords. So now let's look into each of these cards. So you have the Queen of Rods, so she is holding up her staff and as well as a sunflower. And the King of Pentacles, he is holding his scepter and the pentacles and the Ace of Swords. So you have the sword here with the crown. Okay, so now I'm going to read the cards again, this time with the clarification cards. So the clarification cards for the Hanged Man is that we need to just hang in there, okay? Right now, what's happening behind the scenes is that, I'm saying behind the scenes because this is an angel here. She is providing a stabilizing force, which is shown by the triangle here on her chest or on his chest. So the triangle here, it is upright position, meaning that it is stable, something which is stable. So right now behind the scenes, what's happening is that they are coming up with something, they're cooking something, okay, which is where they are pouring the water from one cup to the other. So it's kind of like they're just pouring from one cup to the other. Now, Here it is. I will show you in a while later with the Justice card, because if you look at the Justice card, the balance, okay, the scale is also from right to left, and the left is the lower one and the right is the upper one. So what does this mean? So here what happened is that you have the cup, the contents of the right cup is pouring into the left cup. And here the angel foot is, one foot is in the water, the other foot is on the ground. So for this part, what it means is that there is, when I talk about when I think of water, I think of moving energy, liquid energy, kind of like a spiritual force, um, which is going to be channeled onto the earth plane. Okay, so right now the water energy is kind of like a spiritual energy which is now being channeled into the earth plane. Okay, so at the same time the contents of one cup is being poured to the other. Now this could also mean that this angel is pouring back and forth, back and forth. That means behind the scenes things are being done. Energy is being moved, energy is being grounded. Okay, the energy or the spiritual energy is in the process of being grounded. Okay, so this is behind the scenes. So in front of the scenes is that we just need to have patience and we just need to hang in there. Okay, so that's one of the indications. That means these things are going on, things are happening behind the scenes. The next indication is this Queen of Rods. So an indication of when this whole situation will be over is when the Queen of Rods here, it indicates that there will come a situation when the queen here to me is a maturity, a mature energy. So a mature energy versus a reckless energy. So under the current situation, there is a lot of recklessness, wanting to force the job onto everyone, and like the lockdown doesn't make any sense. So it is reckless. So an indication of when this whole thing is over is when you have this mature energy coming in. So this mature energy, she is holding the staff here or the rod. So the staff or the rod, it represents power or desire, and also it represents authority in the sense that you have the shepherd, and the shepherd is using this rod to put the sheep into place. Okay, so it represents to me the authority, and as well as you see this sunflower. So sunflower represents something which is happiness. So okay, so here the queen is, there will come a time, once again, the indication when this whole situation is ending is when you have this mature energy, and that this mature energy is the one who is pushing the narrative, and where there will be happiness. Somehow she will bring in happiness. Okay, now then this is the clarification card. So the clarification card is that there is going to be peace. So lily means peace. Okay, white lily, and it allows for the energies to be balanced, the male energy and the female energy. But if you look into this picture here, this card here, it shows that the female energy is like uh, it's like the male energy is looking to satisfy the female energy. Okay, so going forward, what this means is that the female energy will will start taking her rightful place in the scheme of things. Okay, so this is where the male energy is. The way I see the card is that he is acknowledging that it is important to satisfy the female energy. So perhaps in the past, the female energy has been suppressed So now the female energy is being acknowledged. Okay, so there will be that means a balancing of the male and female energy. And right now, for the current time being, it's as if the male energy is just gone reckless. So the time will come when the female energy will be acknowledged. And the female energy is kind of like our intuition, for example. Okay, this is the female energy. Okay, it's not just about power or masculine energy, it's about the feminine energy. I'm not talking about physical women or physical men, but it's just the energy. And to represent the female energy or the feminine energy, and a good example is maturity or intuition, not aggressiveness or power, which is represented by the male energy. So once again, time is coming where the female energy will be acknowledged. Okay, then the next card is the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles, he is holding a scepter and the pentacle here. Now, now on his head, you have a helmet which has the two horns. It reminds me of a Viking helmet where they have gone to battle and they have come back victorious. So to me, that is the King of Pentacles for this card. So he's holding a scepter and the pentacle, the coins here. So let's look at the scepter here. The scepter here, it represents where he has conquered his, somehow he has worked on his inner workings, or he has conquered it. Okay, so, and the other thing is the pentacles here, there are 5 points here, is standing upright. The pentacles is representing the air, the fire, the water, the earth, and as well as the spirit. And the circle around it represents the universe. So because of that, it shows that we are conquering our own selves. Okay, we have done some inner working, and because of that, we will be awarded by material riches, okay, and abundance. Okay, so then I pulled out the clarification card, which is the High Priestess. So when you're doing your inner workings, you have to access some of the deeper knowledge. Okay, so some deeper knowledge or some esoteric knowledge. So to me, what it seems is that when we know an indication that this whole situation is going to be over, or is going to be over, is when we have mastered our own self. Okay, and where we don't look into things on the surface, but rather we look into always behind the scenes. What is the deeper meaning of every situation, or of what we read, or what we make out from social media, that kind of thing. We're always looking into the deeper meaning. Okay, so once we start doing that, that shows that we are mastering over ourselves. Okay, so, and we will be victorious, because here he comes with the helmet with the two horns. Okay, and then another indication is that you have this Ace of Swords. So swords, it is, once again, is about justice, information, and truth, which will cut through all deception. So it will be the crown. Okay, so truth will be the crown. That means truth will be king. So when truth is king, that is another indication that this whole situation is going to be over. And this is where the clarification card is on the left here. The clarification card is the sun. So the truth will shine brightly, and where we are able to see eye to eye. Eye to eye in this sense, meaning that we are able to discern truth in other people, and we want to be at eye level with everyone, in the sense that there is no deception. Okay, we are being truthful to people, okay, being eye to eye with each other. Okay, so that's another indication. So altogether, these minor indications, or not to say minor indications, but the more detailed indications, is that first of all, is working behind the scenes. So we just need to step back and let the universal forces do its thing. And then another indication is that there will be a mature energy where it will embrace the feminine energy. Okay, and it will serve as the authority here. Okay, how we lead our lives and how the countries are governed and so on. That means there will be an acknowledgement of this feminine energy, so less into the aggressive energy and more into a balanced energy. Finally, the feminine energy is being acknowledged, and then after that we have mastery over ourselves, and when it comes to situations, we will look deeper into every situation, and then as well as the truth will be the main it will be an indication where we embrace the truth. The truth is king. It will provide clarity, and where people will see eye to eye. There's no deception. Okay, so these are some of the indications that this whole situation is over. Now with that, we will now look into the two cards here. Okay, now for the Justice card, I have pulled out two clarification cards. Why? Because here justice is about upholding truth and justice. Okay, so once again, it is female here, so female energy. Okay, so there is maturity in that. Okay, now I've pulled out two cards because I'm looking at the scale. Usually the scale is balanced, but in this case, it seems that more weight is given to our efforts to, okay, our efforts to perhaps have a desire. So this desire is to have truth, okay, is to expose, is to end this situation. So we have a desire to do that. So here, this is the knight here. It's not the page, it's not the queen, it's not the king. So that means we are in a battle now. We are in a battle to achieve that this situation is over. Okay, so there are people around the world who are battling, who are trying to uphold justice. And according to the Justice card, more weight is given to this energy and less weight is given to Seven of Swords, represents deception. Okay, so as we go towards this end of the situation, what we can see is that there will be justice, and this justice, it will be leaning more towards the energy which is battling to bring about this end of this whole situation, and it will give less weight to the people who are pushing the deception. So here once again it goes back to the Temperance card. So as you can see, the Temperance card here, he is pouring the contents from the right cup to the left cup. Okay, so basically if you look here and if you compare, what happens is that now it's like the energy is moving towards the fighting spirit, or the fighting spirit. That means the energy that wants to bring about the end to this whole particular situation. Okay, then next is the last card is, so the major indications is that justice will be done and that more weight will be given to the effort that is trying to bring an end to this situation. And the other indication is that it is when we look forward into the future, sorry, not into the future, but into the whole world situation. So this is where you have the Two of Cards. Now the thing about the Two of Cards is this. Usually you have one staff which is planted onto the ground, and the other staff, he is holding it, and he is holding the globe, meaning that he is looking or planning in terms of the taking into account the whole planet. Okay, so but the thing is, this staff should be planted into the ground, and then he would be holding the other staff. So whose hand is this? Whose hand is this? So basically, I am getting the feeling that this is the outgoing energy. Okay, where they have caused a lot of they're feeling regret. They have caused um, red liquid. It's kind of like morbid to say it, but you know what red liquid is, like blood, that kind of thing. So it has already been done. So they are feeling regret over this. So because of that, they have bring in some benefits, but um, because of the red liquids coming out of this cup, and to me it's blood, um, they feel regret over it. Okay, and so because of that, finally they just hand over the reins, okay, to this incoming energy. And as you can see, the staff here is unlike this one, is all the way to the top. This one, to me, it looks like it's broken. Okay, so they are handing over the staff to this incoming energy here, and the incoming energy, his staff is all the way to the top. So basically this shows a broken authority, and in the end they just give up. Okay, so they are, at the end of the day, they are readily handing over the reign to the current energy. And the current energy, it is one that is looking into, like into the whole world. Okay, so yeah, so basically that's that. So the question is, what will be happening? When is this whole situation going to end? And I pulled out some oracle cards. Okay, so this is the advice that the cards are giving. You are very close to achieving your goal. Okay, and it is a time for healing. So perhaps this one is a time for healing. Whatever injustice that they have done, they will be given a chance to heal. And at the same time here, we are also given a time for healing. Okay, so whatever that we have gone through, we need to re-establish, we need to rebalance ourselves again before the truth can prevail. Okay, so once again, the time where we re-establish ourselves is also a time for healing. So right now is a time for healing, and where this whole situation will be over, well, you're very close to achieving your goal. Okay, so basically, take this time for healing, and this whole situation, when is it going to end? Well, I can't read time yet, but according to this card, we are close to achieving our goals. Okay, thank you.